What's going on? All my Philly fans, all my Philly watchers. We in the building tonight. Quick little piece of information here, just for those of you who might not be aware. There's three teams that are 3-0. We're one of those three teams. So the Eagles, we haven't looked our best, right? No doubt about it. If we look like this week 17, oh, it's gonna be problems. But hey, we haven't looked our best. We're still 3-0. I mean, what more can you really ask for as of this moment? We're looking better every week. We got some key players back this past week, starting around in the form a little bit. And I will say I have been very critical of Brian Johnson the first couple of weeks. I feel better about him after this past game. So hey, we're gonna get into it. We got some guys that's gonna come on and talk a little Commanders with us later on in the show because that's the matchup for next week, right? We get ready for that too, but we're gonna enjoy being 3-0. That being said, time to bring on the crew and the special guest, our first special guest. Wyatt, what's going on, man?
What's happening, man? Living up right now. Eagles 3-0. I cannot wait to get in the show. A lot to talk about, especially with this Washington game coming up. So hopefully going in 4-0 next week.
We need that. We need that. Diva.
What it do, y'all? We back for another week, ready to get into this game. Let's get it.
You already know. And, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about how we were gonna be highlighting the ladies of the Philadelphia Eagles community because why not? We Eagles fan. So this week we're gonna have Miss Philly on. Y'all know her from the comments. She's gonna be joining us. Alyssa, what's going on?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, everyone?
What's
Nothing
happening?
much. It's gonna be weird not seeing you in the comments.
Yeah.
Right.
Next week.
All right, so y'all know what we started every week. This is like clockwork. We got to get them Eagles updates. Why? What you got for us, man?
Yeah, I don't have too much this week because there's not much happening in these past couple days since the game. But our boy Jalen Hurts passed Cam Newton for the most rushing touchdowns by a QB in his first 50 games. He's up to 29 in 48 games. So this dude could set that record a little bit further here for future quarterbacks to have to go out there and beat it. But I mean, Hurts, it seems like every year at this point he's breaking some sort of records. Which, as long as he's out here winning games, man, I have no problem with that.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Anything else?
Not really, other than just the basic injury report that came out today. I don't know if you want to get into that as of yet, though.
So let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. So, on the injury report as of today, Sidney Brown, Justin Evans, and Quez Watkins are all do not participate, which, I mean, today was just a walkthrough, not an actual practice, so it's just an estimation. But Sidney Brown has a hamstring injury. Justin Evans has some sort of neck injury, which is kind of concerning. And our boy Quez Watkins still has that hamstring injury. It looks like he may be out another week, which, I mean, based off this past week, which we'll get into, dude may be losing his job here to Zacchaeus.
Someone has been talking about Zacchaeus since the offseason. I'm not gonna call any names. Someone's been talking about Zacchaeus. Just saying. Someone has been telling y'all we need Zacchaeus in there. But,
The whole time.
Somebody's been saying, somebody's been tooting the horn of Zacchaeus. But one other quick thing I wanted to add. Well, a couple of things, but the first thing I'll add, and then we'll go around. Anybody's got any thoughts on these things? The first thing I wanted to add is a lot of the players, including your QB1, including your center, including your dominant number one wide receiver, number 11, including them, had a flu-like virus and still went out and played in the rain and had very exceptional games. So those are the type of things that happen throughout a season. Guys tough it out. Guys show you that they're there to win. Looks like we got some, like Coach Prime would say, looks like we got some dogs on the team.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, like I said earlier, there's only 3 teams left that are undefeated. There's 2 in the NFC, us and the 49ers, and of course the team that, I mean, I know we're just the Eagles show, but we would be remiss if I did not at least mention the shellacking the just outmanness. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. Just the domination, the desecration, violation, everything that happened in Denver with the Broncos. Miami, I mean, I'm glad we didn't play y'all this week. We would have let y'all do
Nah.
that, but I'm
No.
glad we got a little time before we play so we can get that defense a little stronger and make sure we figure out who needs to be in certain positions. But let's go around, y'all. Any thoughts on the news, all that good stuff before we dive into some aspects of the game this week? Hey, Coach Dante, what's good,
It's
my
What's
happening.
guy?
good, Coach Dante?
What's up?
So, Diva, we'll start with you. Any thoughts?
Sidney Brown, I heard, is not really that serious, so not really worried about that. And worried about the neck injury though. That's a little serious. Quez, anybody worried about him?
What's up, Bobby? My guy Bobby from Beantown Breakdown. Appreciate you stopping by too, man. Alyssa, you got anything? Or, excuse me, Miss
I'm
Philly
just
Philly, you
happy
got
not a
anything?
lot of I'm just happy not a lot of injuries this week.
I dig that.
Straight
I
up.
dig that.
Straight up.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I mean, Quez, with the way Zacchaeus has been playing, I'm good with him staying out here for a little bit. Justin Evans, he did have some good film out there. Sidney Brown, we definitely need him out there. I mean, dude was an integral part of saving that touchdown that was about to happen. I mean, he was able to get it. He was flying around that field. So we need more Sidney Brown out there. I mean, ASAP. I mean, I don't know what the extent of his hamstring injury is. I know you're saying it's not that serious. But we need this dude out there ASAP. He flying around there like that. But I mean, we have a lot of other limited participants, and of course, Landon Dickerson. He was a full participant, and he missed like most of that second half of the game. But it seems like he's already good to go. And Boston Scott was cleared from that concussion here, so he's going to be good to go. Hopefully, maybe he takes some of those Gainwell snaps that we've been seeing a lot more of here recently.
Oh, I don't think I don't think we're gonna ever see Gainwell lose those snaps, man. For some
Probably not.
reason, they love Gainwell. And I don't have a problem with Gainwell in I like how they did Swift. I complained the whole time I did the game thing because I have Swift in fantasy. But as a fan of the team and wanting to go deep into the playoffs and everything, it is good to let him get in, get his stuff, and get out because the last thing we need is him getting hurt.
True.
Facts.
True.
Yes, sir. So what we're going to do, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. We normally talk about the game, then we talk about our player of the game, and then our weakest link of the game. But we were doing play and pariah, but we stepping it up over here, Eagles Elite. We halfway through season 2. We stepping it up. So we gonna got some new names for things a little bit here. Um, so we're gonna actually answer Beantown Breakdown's question here, everybody, and then we're gonna get back into what we were doing. All right, so he says, cool, you hear the rumors that the league is pushing teams to get rid of artificial turf and go back to natural grass. You got any thoughts on it? I'm gonna quickly say, for me, and I'll just let everybody go. We'll start with a list and just swing around. But for me, I'll simply say this: we need the grass. A lot of these guys are getting hurt because of the turf, and I understand that there are situations where you have outdoor fields where it's sloshy, it's muddy, it's ugly. If it's grass, but it's still consistent. You don't see as many injuries, right? Because it's a natural surface that you're supposed to play on. You're already playing a violent game. You're already beating each other up. The least you could do is be able to do it on a surface that has some give. If you turn the wrong way, there's no give on this artificial turf. And I think that's why we're seeing so many injuries. And I'm not sitting here saying that if we go back to everybody being on grass, we won't have any injuries. We've always had injuries, but we've seen a number of significant injuries rise. And I believe that has a lot to do with the turf. So going back to grass, I think would be a great idea. And also, we do not get rid of the tush push. Stop saying it. Stop it.
Bunch of babies.
Or as
Man.
I affectionately
Get
like to call
good.
it, the tushy pushy.
It sounds like a skill issue. Get good or start using it.
Hey, everybody can use it. You just don't, or
Yeah,
you
we're
can't
not
use it
the only
properly.
ones.
Exactly. Philly, what do you think?
I think that we should get the the grass for because there's a lot of injuries on a lot of teams. and a lot of it has to do with the turf.
I dig it. Diva?
Yeah, we need that regular grass, man. Too many people are getting turf toe, and turf toe can be really serious. Eventually, that's what happened. I think that's what happened to Deion Sanders' feet. Honestly,
That's what happened to Coach
you
Prime.
know
Yeah,
what I'm
with her.
saying? So yeah, we definitely people be tearing ACLs and I think that's why we've had so many ACL tears and MCL tears is due to that turf. It's garbage, man. It's been
Yeah.
garbage. So yeah, give us that grass back. You already know what happens when you play in the NFL. It's just a dirty game. Dirty.
And Diva, I want to say I love the new headset mic combination. It really pops, and I want to
It
give you
does.
a shout out on that.
Appreciate it.
All right, Wyatt, what you got?
Yeah, I'm all for the grass. Get rid of that turf. I mean, it seems like most players in the NFL prefer grass anyway, from what I've been seeing, just in like interviews and such. They're just saying like how much easier it is on your joints, on your knees when you're going down or coming down on the grass and everything. I don't know. It just seems a lot safer. And I mean, it seems like all these other leagues. I mean, it's a vastly different sport than football, but I mean, look at all these soccer leagues going out of their way to make sure there's natural grass on these fields, no matter where they go, US, UK, what have you. They're going out of their way to make sure they have natural grass and not turf. So why can't we do that for the NFL? It just doesn't make sense.
Preach it to the choir. You preach it to the choir. All right, so we're introducing some revampedness of some of our previous, segments, right? Just making things a little bit more smooth around these parts. So we're gonna start here with the weakest link from the matchup against the Bucs. So what we're doing for now is we're gonna talk about weakest link, then the elite performance of the game, then we'll break down the actual game itself. So we're gonna start with our guest. Our guest, excuse me, I gotta remember to say Philly, Philly. Our guest, Philly, 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 Philly. Who was your weakest link on the Philadelphia Eagles in this game?
I guess it's kind of hard for me because they all did really good. But I guess AJ Brown and Hurts, because like Hurts with the he threw 2 interceptions.
Okay. All right, Diva. Who you got?
That donut hole in the middle we got.
So no specific player. We just the donut.
Yeah, donut
all of
hole
them.
is the weakest link. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Wyatt, man.
I'm all say the coaching overall. Just like it seems like there's just a lack of discipline, just between some of the penalties that are happening, and just it seems like some of the players are just not on the same page for some of these plays. Like that play with Swift with the interception, it seems like Hurts expected him to go one way and he went the other, or he expected him to stop. It just seems like there's a lot of miscommunication here these past couple weeks on certain plays. It's just I don't know that, and there's the penalties that are just killing some of these drives for us. I don't know. It's just they need to get the discipline up. I mean, Nick Sirianni needs to work on this. I mean, that was an issue at the beginning of last year as well, but they were able to clean that up within a couple games. So hopefully they were able to clean that up going forward because, I mean, other than just some of the play call in the beginning of the game, I mean, these past couple weeks, especially this week, we should have been up 20-0. Like in that first quarter, within those first 2 quarters, we should have been blowing these dudes out. So I don't know. It just seems like there's a lack of discipline, but the way that the Eagles are and the organization is, it's just one day at a time. They're going to get it all corrected here by the end of the season. You know how it is.
So there's one person that sticks out in my mind as the weakest link. He played right cornerback. His name is Josh Jobe.
I knew you were going there.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm watching this cat play, and I'm like, yo, Tampa Bay is stupid, bro. Tampa Bay is stupid. All you had to do was identify where Josh Jobe was at and throw the ball there the whole game. Like, for real, this dude, Sidney Brown needs to play slot corner. We need to get Mr. Bradbury back in his original position, and not because he can't play slot, but because we can't afford to not have him play that right corner position. We go up against a team that has a quarterback that's a little bit better, and this game's a lot tighter, as we saw the first 2 weeks, because the problem is, Josh Jobe, you are a backup for a reason, sir. And real talk, you need to stay a backup. Y'all need to stop this cat with trying to start this dude. I said it before last week. I'm saying it again. He does not need to start nobody's game.
Right.
Yeah,
not
it was
something that
like
we need.
5 or 10 plays into the game, and I was like, Bradbury need to get back to corner ASAP. This experiment's over. I don't want to see it happen anymore.
When
At that
we heard
nipple.
about it, I felt like it was over. So we'll hop in the comments real quick. So we got Key in the
What's up,
building. Key,
What's
what
going
up?
on, Key?
And then we got Funny Memes with a hey.
What up?
Going on?
What's up, Funny Memes? Hey, we appreciate you coming back through. I know you was rocking with us last week, so appreciate you coming back through again. My man Bobby from the
It's
Beantown
real.
Breakdown. Yeah,
It's real.
Bobby, in that middle, bro. That middle is no game. Like for real.
It was a tad bit better there with Blankenship. You know, just laying the
Yeah.
hammer on.
Yeah.
It was a tad bit better, but I mean, there's still some worry there.
Yeah, it's definitely that. So Key says, I can't find a weak link. Laugh out loud. Key.
Hey.
Stop the cap.
They keep like, oh yeah.
This is, oh yeah.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Then she hits with the he gotta go.
Yeah.
And then she says, where is Eli or Keely?
Yeah, I mean
That's what
Eli
I've
Ricks, he was active. He was active for the game. So I don't know why they didn't try to throw him in there after they saw Job getting cooked.
I don't get it.
I ain't even saying nothing. That's a great question, Key. I don't know the answer, but somebody got some explaining to do. And then
Yeah, I ain't gonna be out here questioning Sean Desai though. Dude's been throwing some different. The only thing I'm questioning is just some of these soft zone, like just by the corners, just how soft they're playing. Like everything else, I am cool with, like some of the schemes he's running on the defensive line, and everything. But like they'll have one corner down, like playing man, and then the other corner is sitting back. And I was like, why are you? I don't understand. Like both those corners should be down near them.
But why though? If Josh Jobe is one of your corners, he cannot be down nobody.
I understand, but they even had Slay. Like Job would be down at man, and then Slay would be back a little bit. And I'm like, well, I don't understand that. Like Slay should be playing man at least.
Yes.
Job should never be playing man. Job should be playing Water Boy. That's what he should be playing.
Bench warmer.
The way he played last week and this week, he should be playing Water Boy.
Get the Mario Goodrich treatment. You not even dressing.
Truth or not, a lot of the yards they got, a lot of the plays they made in the passing game were on who?
Yeah, that was on Job.
You didn't have to worry about the rest of the team because Job was like, you know what? Hey, just burn me. You know what I'm saying? Just burn me.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't targeting him every single time.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm a team that's playing the Philadelphia Eagles, if Josh Jobe is out there, I don't care who he's guarding. That's where I'm going with the ball. I don't care what zone he's in. That's where the ball's going. I'm not throwing at Slay. I'm not throwing at Bradbury. I'm not throwing at Blankenship. I'm throwing at Joe or that donut. But if Blankenship is in that donut, you might want to leave the donut alone too, because it might have a little cream filling in there. You might not be ready for it.
Stupid.
But wherever Job is at, that's where I'm going. And Key says sometimes he has Gan booty tendencies playing 10 yards off.
Straight up.
But Key, I'm okay with it sometimes, not all the time. You know what I'm saying? But
we gotta talk about that line though. That D line that we got though is so damn good.
Hold on, Wyatt. We
I was like, nah, bro.
I'm sorry, man. We gotta talk about it.
We got to get there. So now that we talked about the weakest link, let's talk about the elite performance of the week. And Wyatt,
defensive line, brother. I'll give it to you right first. It's that defensive line. Bro, like Hassan Reddick didn't have the game that I was expecting him to have. I mean, dude's getting constant pressure every time, though. But that middle's just hitting home before those outsiders, like the edges can. I mean, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, man, that dynamic duo. I'm glad we have those guys for years to come. Because, I mean, Jordan Davis is just swallowing these running backs whole as soon as they get to that line of scrimmage. It's amazing what he's doing. Man. That leap that he has from year 1 to 2 has been astounding. And then Jalen Carter is just
like chicken wings.
Wild. And Jalen Carter is so fast for his size. And he's like getting out here, getting strip sacks and everything. It's wild. It's wild.
Alyssa, who you got?
Swift. He can run. He's on fire. He's getting us touchdown.
I like that. I will. The one thing I want to say about Swift is y'all need to leave this man in the game in the red zone, let him get some touchdowns, and stop playing with him.
I mean,
Got
really.
to.
I mean,
And stop
really.
playing with my
Got to.
fantasy team.
Mine too, because he on mine too.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? The yards was
going
great,
on?
but yo, why
He
is
need a
he not
touchdown.
getting touches? Why is Gainwell getting touches in the red zone and not him?
That's what I'm saying.
Why are we going a fourth down run with Gainwell?
Bro, that's the stuff that makes me hot during these games. It's like you have this
That's
dude
why-
that's getting averaging 7 yards a carry, and you not giving it to him on fourth down. Like, come on now.
That's why I am so glad that we have a mute button when we are live. I'm so glad. That is the reason why. All right, so a couple more things from Key. Key says, "Can I come on next week?" I actually was gonna hit you up about coming on next week, but I'm always 2 days behind, so it's supposed to happen today. So I'll hit you up on Thursday or Friday. Key says, "Laugh out loud," and then Key says, "Offensive line."
Yeah, that
Okay.
offensive line, no joke too. It definitely improved.
Diva, who you got? Did Key steal yours?
Blankenship, man. Like
who's
I
that?
said last week. What I say on Monday? What I say on what did I say on Monday? My boy Ball. My boy Ball. Reed Blankenship. How about that? How you like him now?
I do recall you speaking about Reed Blankenship on Monday. I do recall someone else agreeing with you, but I'm not going to call any names here. So,
yeah, white chocolate. Yes,
so Key
sir.
calls it white chocolate.
Yes,
So I want to
sir.
say, I agree with the line, but there is one specific person on the line that I have to shout out individually, and that's Mr. Jalen Carter, right? Jalen Carter, my man hurts, not feeling well, not himself 100%, but he out there fighting for the squad because, behind him is a running back masquerading as a quarterback, so we need him out there because we got to be able to throw the ball. But he has the bad turnover, right? Like he throws, and I want to frame this in the way that I see it. Jalen Hurts drops back. He's already thrown a similar route to Olamide Zacchaeus, who caught it for a touchdown. He throws a 50-50 ball, and I think Devontae Smith misplays the coverage and sits and waits for it instead of high pointing like he would normally do. And because of that, the defensive back, Winfield, I believe, had the opportunity to run across and grab the ball because he attacked it at his highest point, where Smith was waiting to catch it at his lowest point. So I don't say I blame Smith for it. I don't say I blame Hurts. I mean, it's his pick. But if you look at that play, you could tell that Hurts was thinking one thing, Smith was thinking something slightly different. And when it happens, this type of plays happen. This looked like a Quez Watkins play, but I know Smith is not that guy. So I understand it was a miscommunication. But that play happens. Everybody's like, oh, come on, man. We deflated. But one man, Mr. Jalen Carter, rushed the passer, turned around when the ball was ran up through him and punched it out to get us the turnover to get the ball back, in which we did put up points. Big swing for the team. Momentum changer. And not to mention just the aggressiveness of Carter. Carter already has, 1.5 sacks, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
And the most I think anybody has as a rookie is like 2.5. And we're talking about Reggie White, you know what I'm saying? Like great all-time players. The most a lot of those guys have had is like 2.5 in their rookie year. And he's already got 1.5 through 3 games. And the first game he didn't even really play. So this guy is a phenomenal talent. This is a great find by the team. 8 teams passed on this dude. Let him fall to us at 9th, and we traded up a spot just to make sure we got him because we're smart enough for that. This is the type of decision that helps change your franchise. A guy with this much talent, this much dog in him, this much aggressiveness, putting him on a line that already has other pieces, so he's not even asked to go out there every play and get ground down. He's asked to be part of a rotation as a rookie, and he's still killing it. That's got to be my elite performer of the game. Just saying.
Not
All right.
bad.
Hey man, I was watching the game like that's a man. Like the whole line, don't get me wrong. I'm calling Jordan Davis Big Cat from now. This Big Cat Jordan Davis
Oh,
from now.
that my boy right there. He's
Yeah,
like
it's
my
Big Cat
son.
Jordan
Mhm.
Davis. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Oh, we got to shout out Nolan because Nolan hit Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield, I think he was gonna die. Like
I was like,
yo, he's
I
Nolan
was
so
like,
been holding that in. He been waiting to hit someone that hard.
he hit
Baker
Baker
Mayfield was
Mayfield.
hurt. You hear me?
After
He
Mayfield
got
threw
up.
that
He was
ball,
like,
Oof.
no, then why you had done that?
he
Why?
leveled that boy. You hear me?
He made a statement. And the
Yeah.
statement was, we ain't taking your ears.
Nope.
We need to see some more Nolan Smith.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move because it's in about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less. We're going to have some more special guests that's going to be hopping on. So we got to get through this recap of the Bucs game. It ain't too much that we ain't already talked about, but just, any other things that you guys want to talk about, break down, discuss besides us being 3-0, those they being 2-1. Another one of these undefeated matchups. We were both 2-0, but somebody caught that L and it wasn't us. And I also want to say, and I'm gonna repeat this when our guests join. NFC East, you are very welcome. Thanks to us, not the Giants, not the Arlington football team, not the commies. Thanks to us, the division was not defeated this week.
Not the what? What you call them?
Who, the commies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the commies, not the commies, not the Arlington football team. We're gonna go ahead and go with the Giants because we don't need them to say nothing else about them. They say bad stuff about themselves, the way they've been acting out there on their field. We are the reason that the NFC East is not the NFC least this week, right? So you are very welcome for somebody standing up and getting a dub and doing what they're supposed to do. You're very welcome. But back to the regular scheduled program. So Philly, what are your thoughts other than what we've discussed on this Bucs game? Anything you want to point out? Anything that you saw that you'd like to, give us your opinion on?
Well, I wasn't yelling at my TV, except for when Kurtz had the interception. But I thought our defense was amazing. Our
Okay.
offense was good. So yeah.
All right. Diva, I know you got the stats ready. What we looking at?
Oh no, I really don't.
What?
My bad. My bad.
Not
My
Diva,
bad.
not with the
My bad.
stats.
My
All right, what you
bad.
got
My
on the
bad.
game? I get the stats. It's all good.
Okay.
It's
All right.
good.
Man, I know you said that you happy with. I can't with Brian Johnson yet. I can't. I can't yet. It ain't there for me yet for him. Um, I know y'all saw me going off in our chat that we got because I didn't understand what was going on. Like Jalen, and I'm glad to know that he had a little flu symptoms because he did not look right for that first half. My boy looked really, really uncomfortable. Brian Johnson still looked like at first he was just pulling plays out the hat, wasn't nothing consistent. I wasn't understanding some of the plays that he was calling, especially that 4th and 2. I didn't understand that. Just some of the plays that he called, period, I really wasn't understanding. Like we was doing 3 and outs, and I'm like, what's going on, y'all? Like we got to get it. This is the Bucs, you know what I'm saying? That slow start, I'm not liking. I'm not liking the slow start, but then eventually it picked up and got back into the run game. And when we got back into the run game, it opened up the rest of the field. Jalen looked a little more comfortable. He was out there throwing them dimes. So the choir is still out for me on Brian Johnson. I don't know. But that defense, yeah, it's solid. Besides a few plays that I saw, that play with Slay, I'm kind of glad that ball went out of bounds, or that Slay had almost caught it, but then it kind of went out of bounds. Because if he would have caught that ball, he was gone on Slay. Because Slay got turned around all the way around. So plays like that, yeah, I don't know why Sometimes you have some certain playing man and then some to be 2 and 3 yards off. But other than that, defense is pretty good with me. I mean, that whole defensive line is solid, solid. If we can get that middle a little more better, defense ain't gonna be no joke.
Put
So
some cream in
yeah,
that donut.
yeah, we gotta fill that hole with some cream. You hear me? Yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right, Wyatt, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, on defense, I didn't really have too many issues other than just that one drive that they had where they ended up scoring, where they were pretty much just getting away with whatever they wanted. But then the defense was able to turn around and start shutting them down again. So, I mean, defense overall, I think they played extremely well. Brian Johnson, I think this game was a tad bit better. I think I'm seeing some improvement here. We were able to at least move the ball down the field. We weren't seeing nearly as many QB runs as we were seeing the past couple weeks. We were actually running the ball with Swift. The only issues like we get that I mentioned before was using Gainwell in some of these short situations, like on fourth down and everything, or even getting to the red zone. I don't know if Brian Johnson knows if we can run that ball in the red zone as of right now, because yes, during that game, as soon as we got in the red zone, we just kept passing, and it just wasn't working. Nothing was working at all, and they wouldn't even try to run the ball. The only time we run the ball was on the QB sneaks as soon as we were already down to like the 1 or 2 yard line, and that was off of a big play already. I don't know. They just need to figure out that red zone offense, and I think we'll be okay. I mean, as these weeks go on, but that red zone offense has been terrible these first couple of weeks. I think we're ranked like 25th in the league or something, which with the weapons that we have, that should not be the case at all. But overall, I mean, it was a great game. We should have, blew these guys out by even more. We should have put up like a 40 burger on these dudes. But I mean, I ain't gonna complain with the dub though. But there's definitely some more work to do, especially on that offensive side of the ball. The defense, I'm not nearly as worried about unless there's more injuries.
So we definitely should have put up a 70 burger. I'll say that. I got to take one more shot. I just got to. But first, let me play the Eagle Diva roll real quick for the game. Pull that back up. I had that up. Here we go. Hold up, where's it at? Here we go. Okay. So yeah, a couple stats for the game. So Jalen Hurts, 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Swift, 16 carries, 130 yards, 8.1 yards per carry. Here's where it's concerning. This is what's concerning. And if the coaching staff, the running back coach, the offensive coordinator don't go look at this and realize we need to do something different, we have a personal problem. Kenneth Gainwell, 14 carries, 2 less carries, 43 yards, 3.1 yards per carry. Jalen Hurts had 10 for 28 and a tushy-pushy touchdown. AJ, 9 for 131. He dropped 2 touchdowns. So part of those issues in the red zone, to the to kind of go against Diva a little bit here and say some of this is not Brian Johnson's fault. He called a great play for AJ Brown, and AJ Brown dropped the ball twice for touchdowns. Mm-hmm. So if AJ Brown makes those catches, which I believe he normally makes, but he didn't, he makes those catches. We're talking about AJ Brown, 11, about 160 and 2 touchdowns, right? So that's the thing too. You're calling this play, you're trying to get this play in, and I mean he's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So I'm not sitting here saying we need to take AJ Brown out of the game, but don't focus on him anymore because he drops touchdowns. I mean, he caught 9 balls for 131 yards. Why would we even say that? But just saying those are some of the things that makes the difference between Brian Johnson's play calling looking a little bit better and looking the way that it actually ended up looking. No excuses for the red zone misuses of who's running the ball and the play calls is being called. On that first drive at 4-2, why did we do a tushy pushy?
Right.
That is just, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe the scripted plays I get, but sometimes you got to push that script down and go in what makes sense. Olamide Zacchaeus, I've been telling people all off season, this is the 3. You put him at the 3, good things happen. 2 receptions, 58 yards, the only touchdown reception of the game. He got his touchdown. He was like, I don't get many of these. I'm getting mine. And he got his.
He got it.
Yes, sir. Goddard had 5 for 41. Devontae Smith had 4 for 28. Swift had 1 for 8. Jack Stoll had 1 for 6. And Gainwell had 1 for 5. Then you talk about defense. Reed Blankenship, 6 tackles, 1 interception. Job, 4 tackles, 7 burns. Sweat, 3 tackles. Jordan Davis with 2 tackles. Um, Edmonds with 2 tackles. Morrow with 2 tackles. Brandon Graham with 2 tackles. Cunningham had 1, but he had 3 assisted. Uh, Other guys had like 1 tackle. But like I said, Carter with that big play. I love to see that. And then as far as sacks go, Tupeludo had a sack, and then Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter each had a half sack. Kobe looked really good in the return game. I was pleased with his return.
Yeah,
He
I
had
got
one
more
pick.
than 20 yards. She got more
Like,
than
He got
7
where did
30
this
yards.
yards.
guy come
Yeah.
from?
And then he had 3 punt returns for 81 yards. He had almost 30 yards a punt return.
I couldn't
Devin
believe it.
Allen did have 1 for 17. Elliott, of course, perfect on his field goals. One punt we
Jake.
had from Braden Mann was 38 yards. It was inside the 20, so it was, purposely kicked the way that it was. But yeah, we saw some great performances as a team. We saw the guys really decide that they was going to make things happen and finally make it happen. All right. And then Key says he was leading and rocking, referring to Jalen Carter. We have somebody that's watching from the Facebook side that says hello. Hey, we're not able to see who you are. So if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, you can give StreamYard access so that we can see, who it is that's watching and respond. But hey, either way, we still appreciate you watching. That's for sure. All right.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make the switch over here as we have our guys ready. So we're gonna do it a little different this week. I know a couple of guys that know a little bit about the Commanders, right? A little something. So I decided I was gonna bring them on, and we were going to talk this game. So let me get those gentlemen up here, and then we're gonna have us a little chatty chat about what's gonna happen this week. So first, we got our guy. Y'all seen it before. Y'all know who he is. Couch Coach.
What's
What's
happening,
going
Couch
on?
Going
Coach?
on, Couch
What's
Coach?
going on? What's going on? Deja vu. What's going on, people?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then also we bringing on our guy, Mr. Live Wire Sports himself. What's going
What's
on,
going
Martin?
on? How y'all doing?
No,
How y'all
Martin.
doing?
What's going
Doing
on?
good, man. Doing good, man.
Nothing
What's
much.
going on?
Like Coach Cal say, deja vu.
You know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I wanted to have both of y'all on, right? Because we're gonna talk a little Commanders Eagles game. We know what happened with us last year, right? We was pumping strong, looking good, a lot of wins piling up. And then this dude decided to get up off the ground and run with the ball, and then got stripped. And it came crashing down, and it hurt inside. It did. So there's been a lot of those little things in this rivalry, right? This little NFC Beast rivalry. And as I said earlier, I just want to make sure y'all may not be in the back of it here. You are welcome for the Philadelphia Eagles for being the only team that was not defeated this week. To make the division not be a defeated division. Y'all are welcome. Sometimes the standard bearer got to pick it up, put it on their back, and just do it alone. So it's all good. That's what we here for. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta pick everybody else up, throw them on your shoulders, and run over the Bucs. So you're welcome. We don't ask you for thanks. We just go ahead and let you know you're welcome.
Oh, cool. You lucky I love you, dude. You lucky I love you. Oh my
man.
gosh.
But nah, man. So, hey, y'all been here before. Y'all know how we get down. So we'll start with you, Martin. Then we'll go Couch Coach. If we get Philly back, we'll hear her and the rest of us. So we got the Commanders. We got the Eagles. NFC East rivalry game, right? Something that we know it's gonna be tough, right? I mean, I don't ever anticipate, all jokes aside, coming into a game playing against y'all, the Giants or the Cowboys, especially y'all, because it's something about 1-1 with y'all just really get on my nerves. But hey, it's better than 0-2, so I'll take it. But how do you see this game going, Martin? And then what do you think the Eagles can do to win this game? Because I know that you know what you think the Commanders can do to win this game, but what can the Eagles do to win this game?
I think the Eagles, from watching them from last year, coming into this year, they're the defending NFC East champions, conference champions also. Been to the Super Bowl, almost won it. Um, I think their identity from last year to this year kind of changed a little bit. And it could be because of the offensive coordinator, but they picked up some little nuances with that tush push, that little rugby thing they do. Um, but I think they stated their identity running the ball. I don't think they pass when need to pass. They don't have to pass a lot. They just pick and choose when they need to pass because the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles are very dominant. You know what I'm saying? They've been like that last year. They drafted really well this year. So that defense, even though I was listening to y'all a few minutes ago, y'all talk about Tampa Bay, and really like I was expecting that game to be a little bit more of a gap, not so like it's kind of like it was a little struggle. I don't know if that was just the game plan, just to wear the Tampa Bay down until they could do the things that they need. But I think for Philly to win this game, I think they will have to like pressure the Commanders, take a page out of Buffalo's book from last week, pressure the offense, create turnovers, play kind of do a reverse like the Commanders did them last year. Time possession, run the ball, control the clock. So I think that will play where because now that I think Philly knows that with Eric the enemy over there. Uh, Hold on for a second, guys.
All right, well, couch coach, while Martin handles what he needs to, we'll go ahead and swing over to you.
All right, and the same thing as far as when it comes to keys for you guys to win.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think essentially, I mean, you put pressure to Sam Howell. I think that's one of the keys where you look at it where you almost force him to a point where you force him to throw the ball prematurely, get opportunities where you can turn that football over. I look at this from that standpoint of almost, your corners and safety can somewhat give him somewhat deceiving looks and thinking that they're not there, force those turnovers. And I think the only Swift that we need to talk about in the National Football League is DeAndre Swift, where I think he's going to be someone I think has now emerged as a star for this Philadelphia Eagles offense. So I think you look at that and and I think he has that essentially that factor where he can wear our defense to pieces. And I think that's where the thing is you just got to keep running down our throats to pause, but more so in the sense where yeah, but more so in the sense where I can see where you guys run it effectively to a point where the dam is going to break, and then you guys are just going to get hot, and it can potentially get ugly.
I feel it. So Philly, I'm gonna ask you the opposite question, and we're gonna all answer that question. What do you think the Commanders will be able to do to ensure a victory against the Eagles in Week 4?
Well, they gotta do their best and run the ball and not do as good as us.
All right, Diva, what about you?
I think in order for the Commanders or for them to beat us, or us to beat them, I'm sorry.
For them to beat us.
Kind of do what they did last year. They would definitely have to stop the run game for sure. And they would have to if you can attack Job and that donut middle, oh yeah, then you probably will beat us. You would definitely have to get Jalen off of his game. But yeah, I mean, basically kind of do what you did last year. I mean, 'cause you did a pretty good job last year. I don't know if we just fell apart out there on the field or what happened, but you figured out, our schemes. But I mean, this year we're a little different with two new offensive coach and defensive coach. So things are a little different, but that's the only way I can see them really beating us.
All right, wow. What about you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what Diva was saying, like last year, and Martin was saying, like control the time of possession. I feel like that's what they're going to have to do to try to take down the Eagles, as well as put a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, especially these first couple weeks of this season. A lot of like the Patriots, the Vikings, and even the Bucs are trying to blitz Jalen as much as possible, throw him off his game, and with the new offensive coordinator, it's been somewhat working. They haven't really found a way to kind of counterattack that blitz that's coming at them when they rush everybody. So I mean, I think that's going to be a big key, and then of course try to shut down that run and use the middle of the field, that donut like we've been talking about. You got to try to utilize that as much as possible. As long as you're able to do those things, I think you definitely have a good chance, and try to shut us down in that red zone, which may not be too hard unless they're able to fix that within this week.
Well, I'm going to say, first thing I'm going to say you want to do is make sure you send your best physician to the facility to get Quez Watkins right. Because if you're the Commanders, you want Quez Watkins playing.
Right.
If you're the Eagles, you're fine if it takes him another week to get right. Because he's kind of been the guy against y'all, both games last year. Even in the other game, he didn't show up. So either he doesn't show up, or when he shows up, it doesn't work out well. So I think he's just not a good matchup for y'all, because you have young, aggressive guys in the middle, at safety, at corner, and he's a guy that's not fighting for the ball. So I think you want him on the field if you're the Commanders. Definitely, you want to try to stop the run. I think making the team one-dimensional, making us need to depend on Hurts in this disjointed wide receiver situation we have going on, or this disjointed passing game, would be a big thing, because you can get a turnover too, kind of like what happened this past week. That goes a long way into taking any momentum that the Eagles would have away. And then again, everybody's already said the easiest thing for you to do on defense, on offense. I mean, run the ball a couple times, right? Because you just want us to think you're gonna run the ball. It's not gonna be too effective, but you don't have to worry about that, because there's still that big donut in the middle, right? Just make sure the Blankenship isn't in the area that you're throwing to. Don't throw to the cream in the middle of the donut, and you'll be good. But that's what I would say that you guys can do to win the game. So now we're gonna go back around and let everybody talk about their own team. So Martin, we'll start with you. What does the Commanders need to do from your perspective to catch a dub this week?
Well, I'll go back to last week's game. I think, to me personally, I think the Commanders walked into that Buffalo game not prepared at all. They was not prepared. It showed. I mean, I watched that game, and I compared when Carson Wentz was there, when the Eagles sacked us 7 times in that first game. Our offensive line, for some reason, we can't never get it right, but we'll make the adjustments as needed. And it worked the second time when we played y'all, where we had Taylor Heineke back there. We made short passes, we got the ball, but we ran it effectively, and we rolled Brian Robinson. Now, Brian Robinson wasn't 100% like he is this year. So he's more stronger, and they could run the ball. They ran the ball on Buffalo last week. He had 10 carries for 70 yards. They could have slowed the game down dramatically on Buffalo if they kind of like run the ball a little bit more, because they was only down 16. So you got in the red zone a couple of times. You didn't execute. You know what I'm saying? Doom are the things that you're going to have to do against the Eagles. You cannot come up empty, because the more the Eagles is on the field, the more they drive, the more they start finding their rhythm, bad things going to happen. So what Washington has to do, they're going to have to run the ball effectively. They have to run the ball. They got to protect Sam Howell. He's young. He's still learning, even though he had a bad game last week. Everybody has a bad game. So, but he understands that. Eric Bieniemy has to put his playmakers in better position. You got skilled receivers out there that you ain't really putting in position. You got Antonio Gibson that could be a wide receiver. That could be another weapon that you could use against the Eagles' aggressive defense. You got Cole Turner out there. You got John Bass out there. You could use John Bass as an added protection on the offensive line to slow down some of that pass rush, to give Sam Howell more time. So you utilize the run to set up play action, short passes, take what the defense give you. Don't try to get it all in one shot. You know what I'm saying? This is not the Kansas City Chiefs. We ain't that developed yet. We got to do the things that's necessary. If we had a less talented team last year and a more talented team this year, you could do the things that you need to do, but you got to be smart about it because the Eagles are still they are a year removed from coming from the Super Bowl, but they added some pieces, so they still very dangerous. And you don't want them to explode on you at home because the Eagles are looking for revenge. They looking for that revenge game from we beating them when they was 8-0 last year, and they coming in. We 2-1, they 3-0. Another scenario. So what can Washington do? They got to run the ball effectively, ride Brian Robinson, mix it up with Rodriguez a little bit, get some passing going, and control the clock. So I think that's the only, like Diva said, that's the only way they're gonna have to run the ball effectively, just to slow them down.
I dig it. I dig it. Couch.
And I almost echo what Martin said as well. I mean, you look at it from a standpoint, definitely is going to be when the win it to me, the time possession. I think obviously, like we talked about, because I think the key phrase of this game is pretty much you want to prevent the dam from breaking from on watching end where you got to get the opportunity where your offense isn't having these 3-and-outs and feeling the opportunity to have the ball back and continuing doing what they do. I also too, especially I think it's the running back game has got to be very effective for Washington because obviously we don't want to keep having Sam being dropped back down there, especially when you have a vaunted defense like the Eagles where you got a guy like you think yourself you don't want to be in that position where you're throwing it so many times to a point where the rush is going to get you, and especially in this game you want to set up that running game so it give you an opportunity to make screen passes almost similar to like in the Denver game. So you look at that, that's effective in my personal opinion with that. And then also the turnover battle, win those turnover battles. I think that's the key, especially for us. We have to turn the ball over and get us themselves opportunities to punch some scores in and what have you. But to me, this is kind of one of those games where, hey, Sam Howell just needs to effectively manage this game. I don't want him to be the hero in this game. Just, hand it off to the running back, short screen passes, and like Martin said, pretty much get creative and get guys like Curtis Samuel in the game. Like this would be a perfect, like a Curtis Samuel type of game where he can kind of be effective in those screen passes and what have you. But biggest thing, the key, this the title of this game is prevent the dam from breaking, almost similar to what we did last week. Because like Martin said, we was only down 16-0, but then that dam broke in the fourth quarter. That's why you look at that game like, damn, y'all really got blown out. But the numbers, but that fourth quarter pretty much did us in. But just preventing the dam from breaking.
All right. Philly, I see you back. So what's your thoughts? Basically, this time around, what can the Eagles do to win the game for us?
Run the ball. We need to avoid a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she froze.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so we'll go ahead. Diva, what you got?
So we definitely got to do better with time of possession. Some of those 3-and-outs that we had the last few games, we can't be having those as fast. So we got to control the clock a little more better. We also have to stay with the run game. As far as defense, you got to get pressure on Sam Howell. You also have to stop the running game, which we have been good at stopping the running game. And just clog all holes and watch Reed Blankenship and Jalen and Nolan and all them just ball out.
All right. So I see we got Philly back. You want to give it a shot again, Philly? No, I think she might have froze again. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, we got to pretty much the defensive line got to do exactly what they did against the Bucs here. Create as much pressure as possible, get Sam Howell uncomfortable, and that will hopefully help that secondary a little bit, especially there in that donut hole. But I mean, we got Reed Blankenship back. Hopefully, he can cover that middle a good bit. The biggest thing is just to get this offense going early. We need some more consistency on offense. Get Jalen Hurts in a rhythm. Run the offense through DeAndre Swift as much as possible. I know you want to utilize Gainwell in there, but on these short situations when you need to convert that first down, you got to have Swift in there. I don't care if it's in the middle of the field or down in the red zone, which is the other issue. You need to all this week they should be working on red zone drills because that was the big thing that was killing us in that Bucs game, and that really could have been what put us out of reach for a majority of that game. We could have had that wrapped by halftime. So, I mean, as long as they're able to fix some of that issues on offense, get some more consistency in there, I think the defense will help them out big time. And the biggest thing, just like every other QB we face that's not super mobile, make them uncomfortable as possible. And with that defensive line, we should be able to do that.
Definitely. So a couple of comments, and then we'll hop back over to Philly and see if she's got everything straightened out now. So we got Rob. Carlton Rob says, "What's up? What's up, Rob? Thanks for checking us out."
What's happening, Rob?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then also we got Coach with the what's good. What's
What's
good?
going on, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Philly, you good now? You good? No? You good, Philly?
Yep.
All right. So what go ahead. You were saying what your keys to victory for us were?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I said it before the thing froze.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just didn't know
But
if you
I
had
can say
anything
it
else.
again.
Oh no, you good. I just didn't know if
No.
you had anything else you wanted to add. Okay. So for me, we have to run the ball. We have to ensure that we don't turn the ball over. We have to find a way somehow to solidify that donut hole in the middle. We also have to make sure that we capitalize on opportunities. The Commanders are not going to lay down if we get up like 14-0. They're not going to just crumble if they get hit a couple of times. They're going to continue to play the game. So we've got to make sure we maximize. I'll say this every week throughout the season. This part you'll hear from me every week. We need to score on every drive, whether there's 3 or whether there's 7. We don't want to be all 3s, but 3 is better than turn the ball over on downs. So I'd like to see us kind of weight at those decisions and say, all right, early in the game, we don't have an opportunity to score yet, or no one scored yet. Let's go ahead and get 3 on the board. Late in the game, we're down or it's really tight, and we say, you know what, we got a yard to go, tushy pushy time. But I would like for us to, just make sure that we understand the flow of the game and be adaptable. Talked earlier about Brian Johnson, our offensive coordinator. One of the things I do like way more about him than Steichen is he is okay and amendable to adapting his game plan. We don't see him come out and do the same thing in the second half that he does in the first half. I will give him credit where it's due. Right, some of the play calling, I'm with Diva. Like, bro, you got to be better in Wyatt. But there are times I'm like, okay, at least he's coming out in the second half and saying, this is what I'm seeing from the defense. Let me make some adjustments. What I would like for him to do is add that to making good play calling from the beginning, and let's put it all together.
Yeah.
So if we do that, I think we have a great chance here to really, have a good game. So we'll go around here before we end. We'll start with Philly since he's on the edge, just let everybody know where they can find you. And then what is your score prediction for the game?
Okay, so I'm on Facebook under Alyssa Haladish, and I'm also an admin in a Facebook group called the Eagles Locker Room on Facebook. And my score prediction is Eagles 23-17.
Okay. All right. Martin, what you got for us, big dog?
Well, I'm gonna give a little assessment, and then I think well, you can find me on YouTube, Livewire Sports Media, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, also Livewire, and you can also find me on Facebook, Livewire Sports, and my full name Martin Pounds. My score prediction of the game, which I think it will be a battle of wits because I think both teams going to run the ball and they're going to try to see who can outgrind each other the most in that facet. But I'll say Commanders 20. I'll say 23-20.
Okay. Coach. You
Muted, my bad.
yeah.
So
there you
great minds think alike. I'll tease that. So pretty much catch my show every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Couch Coach Live. So pretty much Couch Coach Live anywhere you get your social media and what have you. We also have a Commanders centric podcast called Commanders in the Chat every Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And like my good brother Martin, I definitely think that the Washington Commanders going to win by the final score of 24-21. Joey Slide kicks us, and we'll take that 30-minute plane ride back home with a W.
Diva.
Y'all can find me on X at CMCOP1. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, same thing. And you can find me on any live stream, any social platform that you download podcasts. I got my own podcast called Black Light Mass Incarceration Show. And my score prediction is Eagles 34-10. Let's go. We're putting some numbers up.
Okay. Why? What you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, you can find my personals here at Wyatt Regard on Instagram and on Twitter. My other show, Cinema Trip Reviews, you can check us out on YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe there. And also on Twitter and Instagram at Cinema Trip Reviews. Score prediction, I got us 31-17.
All right. So I'm going to actually say Martin. I'm going to do what Martin the Couch Coach did because Wyatt great minds think alike. I have us winning 31-20.
Okay.
You can find me. I'm not even gonna go through the show. I'm just gonna say if it's Monday, if it's Tuesday, if it's Friday, you can find me at Real Play Callers or www.playcallsportstalk.com/live. Different shows. If you sign up, if you hit that sub button, you can find when all the shows come on what they do. If it's tonight, of course, you can find me right here. If it's Saturday night, along with Couch Coach, even though he don't never talk about it, we got the NFC Beasts. And sometimes Martin decide he want to come through, and sometimes he don't.
Man, my schedule is like ridiculous, man. I'm trying to tell you.
You good, man. I'm just messing with you, bro. But yeah. So NFC Beast, that's across multiple platforms. You can find that on what Couch Coach was talking about. Either one of my platforms and several other great collaborators, man. All fans of NFC East teams. So we got Giants represented, Commanders, of course, Eagles, and we got the Cowboys representing good quality, content. Guys that are on there to really break down the games and not just we them boys, we gonna win the Super Bowl, or we almost won last year, so there's no way we can not win this year, or we the best team in the NFC East now because we won a couple of games. Just we don't have those type of guys. We got guys that really want to, get into it and kind of do like we do here. We have fun, we joke a little bit, but we try to really break down the game from a fan perspective, but also analyzing what we're seeing as fans and not just, since we the Eagles and the other team not, we're gonna win 50-0. We don't do that around here. We understand that we may not have a 70-20 game. We that may not happen.
I do could say, the Eagles and the Commanders do got something in common. We both don't like the Cowboys. So, hey, so, whether we play each other, whether the results of the game is, we don't have no animosity to each other, but we always take that animosity to the Eagles. On another side note, I mean, not the Eagles, but the Cowboys. Yeah. So, but unless that, I'm always available. Y'all can always hit me up on Facebook if y'all need somebody to come in, and I'm always around. So, if you can't reach me, you can always reach Cool. I'm always available.
True. All right, good people. So, good show. A lot of good insight. Had fun with you guys, and I'm glad we were able to get both of you on at the same time. That way, you don't feel so overwhelmed. You got another guy up there to tell you that you're gonna lose, win a game you're gonna lose, but it's always good you have somebody else to support you with that. But before we get out of here, just gotta remind you guys of one thing. This is every week.
You're last.
he
Wanted to
just
make
hit
it
me.
fun for y'all.
Yo,
hit
I
me
was
with-
not
he-
expecting that one.
He hit me with the Goldberg. Wow.
Noted.
Nice.
Hey man, we got to make it fun, man. So for Philly, my man Martin, my guy Couch Coach, who you will see me with. What day is that, Couch Coach?
Tomorrow, 9:00 East Standard Time. Commanders in the chat. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach,
what he
send
said.
me that link. I'll stop by.
For sure. I got you,
And
man.
then
Got you.
Eagles Diva, my man Wyatt, and of course your boy. You know, for the four of us, it's hashtag Fly Eagles Fly, hashtag Be Elite for the other
Elite.
two.
Mhm.
They they got a little Commanders thing. I'm gonna sit here and act like I don't know what it is, but I know what it is. But I'm just you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna be
ACTC.
like that. Hell to the Commanders. We'll get to them. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see y'all next week. Good luck, man. I hope y'all have a good game. Of course, I want you to lose, but you can look good in losing.
Go Birds.
Y'all have a
That
good
being
one.
said, go
Go
Birds. We out.
Birds.